Hi, Matt. My name is Garrett Holloway, and I'll be interviewing you today.
Nice to meet you, Garrett.
Very nice to meet you as well. So how was the drive up?
It was good. Traffic was light, so
Weather cooperated?
yeah, no problems.
Yeah, we finally got one of these nice sunny spring days.
Mm, absolutely.
I have a copy of your resume here, and can you just tell me about the highlights?
I'd be happy to. I started out working in a grocery store. I was a bagger there for a little while, and then I was doing stocking on the weekends. But I also ended up being a cashier, and I really liked interacting with customers. And I felt like I wanted to do more interaction with the customers. So I decided to move over and transition into the restaurant industry. And I started out as a waiter. It was a small mom and pop's restaurant, but it was a good experience. I worked there for about 2 years, and now I'm just relocating, so I'm looking for another opportunity.
Okay. Now, I'm noticing in between the time when you worked at the grocery store and when you started working at the restaurant, there's about a 6 month gap in your work history. Can you tell me a little bit about what was going on during that time?
Absolutely. So in my free time, I'm a mountaineer, and I really like to pursue the natural side of life and adventure.
Very cool.
So I had saved up some money, and I decided that I would just kind of pursue that for a little while. And I actually went out to the Grand Tetons and got to do some climbing there. It was a great experience. I'm not looking to do that again anytime soon. I was young, and it was the right time to do it. But now I'd like to start pursuing my restaurant career a little bit more seriously and get better at it.
Okay, well, that certainly sounds very exciting. Besides mountaineering, can you tell me about any other special skills you might have that might come in handy here at the restaurant? Maybe foreign language ability, anything like that?
Unfortunately, I don't have any foreign language ability. Took a couple Spanish courses. I might be able to get through a transaction with a couple customers.
Okay, well, it's still good to know. Matt, my company requires me to do a structured interview with you here today. So, I'm going to ask you a series of questions about your knowledge of the restaurant industry.
Mhm.
So, just please try to answer all the questions to the best of your ability. Sounds all right?
Yeah, great.
All right, let's get started. So, first of all, can you tell me a little bit more about your previous restaurant experience?
Yeah, so I was at the Mom and Pop's restaurant. As a waiter, I really did get to engage the customers in a lot of different ways, and we also did a little bit of catering. It was simple stuff, doing parties for the local friends of the restaurant. But I feel like I did get to see a lot of the good and the bad of the restaurant industry. And I'm prepared and ready to work with all of that. But the one thing I would like to learn more about, and I'm hoping I get to do in this opportunity, would be the finer dining. That's something that we didn't do at the Mom and Pop's restaurant. So
Okay. And at your previous serving job, about what percentage of the bill did you typically receive as a tip?
usually it was about 14 to 17%. A little bit more on the holidays, but
Okay. And can you tell me what hours you're available to work here?
yeah, I'm looking for a full-time position. I'm available for first or second shift. So whatever would serve the restaurant better, I'd be happy to do.
Suppose that a customer has received a steak that wasn't cooked properly. What do you do in that situation?
Well, first of all, I would definitely apologize and let them know that we love to accommodate our guests and we want everything to go well for them. So I would return the steak to the kitchen and bring out what they did ask for, and see if I can do anything a little bit extra to make sure they leave happy.
So, next question. Suppose that you have a very angry customer. What would you do?
I have been in that situation in my previous experience, and the first thing I'm looking to do is to de-escalate the situation. Make sure that the customer knows that I want to work with them. I want them to leave happy. Um, and once they're calmed down a little bit, I would talk about what the problem was, and definitely try to figure out what we could do to accommodate them. if they were still upset, I would get the manager involved. But ultimately, I would want them to leave happy, and then even if we could do something a little extra for them, that would be good.
Now, suppose you notice that your customer's glass of iced tea is half empty. What should you do?
Usually, I like to ask them, but if I've been back and forth a couple times, and I know they like to just have it refilled, I'll refill it.
Okay. Now, can you tell me what type of wine, red or white, goes best with a marinara sauce?
That would be a red wine.
Okay. Do you know what's in a White Russian?
I know that it's Kahlua and vodka and cream.
Okay. Now, on which side of the plate should the salad fork go?
On the right side.
Okay. An Italian dish with the word polo contains what?
Polo is chicken.
Okay. Suppose a customer asks for a white wine. Would you give them the Chardonnay or the Merlot?
I would give them the Chardonnay. Merlot is a red wine.
Okay. Now, should the tip be computed before or after taxes have been added to the bill?
It should be computed before.
All right. Now, what should a steak cooked to medium look like?
It's definitely going to have some pink in it, but as in between medium well and medium, so generally kind of pink in the middle.
Okay. What is calamari?
I believe it would either be squid or octopus. I've had it served both ways. Not sure if there's a certain one that's right, but one of those.
Okay. Can a parent order a glass of wine for her underage child?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Which of these spices would not be considered sweet? Basil, tarragon, fennel, or cloves?
I'm going to pretty sure that it's cloves.
Okay. Now, Matt, that concludes that portion of the interview, but is there anything else that you'd like to tell me about your experience or background that I didn't have the opportunity to ask about?
Yeah, I think for me, I've been around. I really, like I said, I'm a people person, but in a lot of my experiences, I seem to be the person that brings energy to the table. I don't know if it's my passion for customer service or just excitement about life in general, but I do feel like I can bring a team together.
Now, just to tell you a little bit more about the restaurant, we're a chain restaurant, and this is a fairly new location. We're hiring wait staff, servers, and cooks. We pay $3 an hour plus tips. Most of our servers actually average $15 to $16 an hour. We're a fairly laid-back staff, and we like to joke around, but we also take pride in customer satisfaction and teamwork among our staff members. And to give you an idea of the timetable that we're looking at here, we're going to be interviewing people for the rest of the week, and we expect to be calling people by next Monday to let them know if they were hired or not. But if we don't get back to you by next Monday, feel free to give us a call, because the hiring process could potentially take longer than we expected it to.
Sure.
So Matt, do you have any questions for me?
Could you tell me maybe a little bit what you think first or second shift you guys are looking for right now? Or
I think right now we're mainly hiring for second shift.
Okay.
That's what we're expecting the most of our customers to be coming in, or the greatest volume of business. So probably second shift.
Excellent. That would give me a little bit more interaction with the people, and that's something I really like. So that's good to hear.
All right. Well, thanks for coming in, Matt.
Thank you, Garrett.
All right, Amy. I'm just going to be asking you a few questions today, if that's all right.
Okay.
All right, let's get started. First of all, can you tell me a little bit about your previous restaurant experience?
I never worked at a restaurant before, but I've worked in sales. I worked at 2 different retail stores. So I'm very comfortable talking to people, telling customers the deals of the day, and basically telling them what we can offer them.
Okay, good. Since you haven't worked in a restaurant before, we can go ahead and skip question number 2 and go on to number 3. Can you just tell me what hours you're available to work generally?
Mondays through Fridays, 9 to 5 p.m., but whenever you guys need me, I can come in.
Okay. Now, suppose that a customer received a steak that wasn't cooked properly. What would you do?
I would take the dish away from them and apologize, and I would take the steak back to the kitchen and give them a steak that's more properly cooked.
All right. Now, suppose that you have a very angry customer. What would you do then?
First thing, I would just assess the situation, see what the problem is, apologize, and if I can immediately fix anything, I would do that. Otherwise, if it is out of my hands, I'd go immediately to my manager and report the situation.
All right. Now, suppose that you notice your customer's glass of iced tea is half empty. What do you do?
I would fill it up.
All right. Now, can you tell me what type of wine, red or white, goes best with a marinara sauce?
Red.
Okay. Now, can you tell me what is in a White Russian?
Milk, rum, and I think vodka.
All right. Now, on which side of the plate does the salad fork go?
I believe the right side of the plate.
An Italian dish with the word polo contains what?
Chicken.
A customer asks for a white wine. Would you give him the Chardonnay or the Merlot?
The Chardonnay.
Should the tip be computed before or after taxes have been added?
Before taxes.
What should a steak cooked medium look like?
There should be no pink, no blood, just cooked overall.
Okay. Now, can you tell me what calamari is?
I think it is squid.
Okay. Now, which of these spices would not be considered sweet? Basil, tarragon, fennel, or cloves?
I want to say tarragon.
Okay, Amy, that's all I have for you today as far as questions go. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, Sarah, so I just have a few questions for you today, if that's all right.
Mhm.
All right, let's get started. Can you tell me about your previous restaurant experience?
I have about 3 years of experience in a restaurant environment. In high school, I started as a hostess, and when I turned 18, I started doing serving.
Okay. Can you tell me, in your previous serving jobs, about what % of the bill did you receive in tips?
When I was a hostess, it was a shared pot, so I'm not exactly sure what the percentage was for that one. But as a server, I would say it ranged between 18 and 21%.
Okay. Can you tell me what hours you're available to work?
I'm a student and I take classes in the morning, so I'm interested in working anytime after noon during the week, and then I have open availability on the weekends.
Okay. Next question. Suppose you have a customer that received a steak that was not cooked properly. What would you do?
I would apologize for the miscommunication, and then I would ask them to describe how they would like the steak to be, so we can properly relay what they were looking for back to the chef to have it replaced.
Okay. Now suppose that you have a very angry customer. What would you do?
I believe in a restaurant, you pretty much have to follow the mentality that the customer's always right. So there's a certain part of just taking it, but you also need to make sure that you listen to what the concerns are, and try to use that as a learning opportunity. And depending on what the issue is, make sure that you're informing management if that's required.
Okay. Now suppose you notice that your customer's glass of iced tea is half empty. What would you do?
I would ask them if they would like me to refill it, because sometimes people who use tea, they have their certain levels of sugar or something that they've added into it. So I wouldn't want to fill it up without asking them.
Okay, good. What type of wine, red or white, goes best with a marinara sauce?
Definitely red.
What is in a White Russian?
Vodka and cream.
Okay. And on which side of the plate does the salad fork go?
I believe it's the left.
All right. An Italian dish with the word polo contains what?
Chicken.
Okay. A customer asks for a white wine. Would you give him the Chardonnay or the Merlot?
Chardonnay.
Okay. Now, should the tip be computed before or after taxes have been added to the bill?
Before.
What should a steak cooked medium look like?
It should be pink. It should be a warm pink center.
Okay. What is calamari?
I believe it is squid.
Can a parent order a glass of wine for their underage child?
No.
Which of these spices would not be considered sweet? Basil, tarragon, fennel, or cloves?
I would guess cloves.
Okay. Well, those are all the questions I have for you today, Sarah. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.